Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the intense, high-stakes conflict that explodes behind the scenes when a massive commercial real estate project starts to fail. It's a battle of financial titans that literally shapes the skylines of our cities.
Okay, so it all starts with this one simple truth. Every single major building you see, every gleaming office tower, every sprawling shopping mall, it all represents a colossal financial bet. It's a huge gamble on future rents, on economic growth, and on the simple idea that the building will make way more money than it costs. But here's the thing. A bet that big, it immediately creates this fundamental tension. It pits two very different groups against each other from day one. The people who fronted the cash to get it built, and the people who are dreaming of the massive profits it could one day generate. Their goals couldn't be more different.
So what happens when that bet goes south? When the rent checks stop coming in, when the economy sours, and that whole massive financial gamble just turns bad. Well, that's when a brutal, strategic tug-of-war begins.
To really understand this fight, first we've got to meet the two teams pulling on opposite ends of the rope. Let's call them Team Credit and Team Equity. Yeah, this slide, it lays out the whole conflict perfectly. You've got Team Credit, those are the lenders, right? They are all about safety. They're first in line to get paid, and really their only goal is to get their money back plus interest. They just want to minimize their loss. But then you have Team Equity, the developers, the investors. They are dead last in line. They get wiped out first, so for them, this is a fight for pure survival, to protect their investment and just hang on long enough for things to hopefully turn around.
All right, every battle needs a battlefield, right? And in distressed real estate, the playing field is a mix of legal contracts and state law. And believe me, this legal rulebook can dramatically favor one side over the other.
The first shot gets fired the moment a default happens. And it's not some complicated financial wizardry. It's simple. The income the property is generating, the rent, is just no longer enough to make the mortgage payments. And right then, a clock starts ticking. And this right here, this shows why geography can be destiny in these fights. In what's called a judicial state like New York, foreclosure is this long, drawn-out court process. This gives Team Equity its most valuable weapon, time. Time to negotiate, time to find new money, time for the market to maybe recover. But in a non-judicial state like Texas, the lender can foreclose in just a few months, giving Team Equity basically no room to maneuver. Okay, so now that we know the players and the rules, let's get into the playbook. What are the actual power moves each side uses to try and win this financial war?
You might think the first move always comes from the big bank, but not always. Often it's a smaller, higher-risk mezzanine lender who kind of sits between the main loan and the investors that makes a surprise attack. And their move is really clever. They don't foreclose on the property itself, because that's slow. No, they foreclose on the ownership stake of the equity investors, effectively kicking them right out and taking their place as the new owner. Sometimes it happens almost overnight.
It seems totally backwards, doesn't it? The borrower isn't paying, so the lender should just foreclose immediately and get it over with. But, weirdly enough, one of the most strategic moves a lender can make is to do nothing at all. It's a strategy known as pretend and extend.
Here's the key thing you have to understand. The moment a bank forecloses, regulators force them to officially recognize the full financial loss on their balance sheets. That is a huge hit. And besides that, banks are bankers, not property managers. They have absolutely no interest in the headache of actually owning and operating a troubled building. So they wait, they pretend the loan is fine, and hope the market improves or they can quietly negotiate a better way out. So, when Team Equity is backed into a corner, when they've run out of time and all their other options are gone, they have one last massive card to play. We're talking about their nuclear option, filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. This thing triggers what's called an automatic stay, which instantly freezes any foreclosure action. It's like hitting a giant pause button on everything, and it forces the lender into months or even years of painful negotiations. Okay, so we've seen the main playbook, but this is where things can get really unpredictable. There are these wild cards, these hidden clauses buried deep in the loan documents that can just flip the entire game on its head in a second.
This is one of the biggest wild cards out there. On a non-recourse loan, the lender can only take back the building. That's it. But with a recourse loan, oh man, that means the lender can come after the borrower's personal assets, their house, their bank accounts, you name it, to cover the debt. That gives the lender absolutely terrifying leverage.
But, and this is a huge but, even those supposedly safe non-recourse loans can have this hidden poison pill inside them.
They're called bad boy carve-outs. And basically, if the borrower does something the lender doesn't like, say filing for bankruptcy to stop the foreclosure, these clauses can suddenly kick in, making them personally liable for the entire loan. It's a brutal, devastating trap.
You can just picture the scene, right? This is the heart of the entire argument. Team equity gets an appraisal, they slap it on the table, and it says the property's worth, say, $75 million. Their point is, look, the property will recover. There's still value here. Our investment isn't a total loss yet.
But then the lender's appraiser comes back with a much, much bleaker number, only $58 million. And that valuation gap, that defines the entire battlefield. For the lender, it's proof. They're saying, it's over. Your investment has been completely wiped out. You don't even have a right to be at this table anymore.
So, after all the legal maneuvering, the financial warfare, and all the strategic plays, who actually comes out on top? Who wins the tug of war?
No, more often than not, the outcome has less to do with the building itself and everything to do with who's behind it. A strong sponsor, a powerhouse like Blackstone, has the reputation and the rescue capital to force a negotiation. But a weak sponsor, someone with no extra cash to put in, the lender will probably move to foreclose without a second thought.
In the end, it's really not about who's right or who's wrong. Victory is decided by one thing: leverage. Who has the stronger legal position? Who has the deeper pockets? Who has the better reputation? Leverage is the ultimate currency in this battle, and whoever has more of it wins, period.
So the next time you look at a city skyline, just remember that it's more than just a collection of buildings. It's a testament to the countless, unseen financial wars that have been fought and won, shaping the very world we live in, one skyscraper at a time.